about law.
Please.
You don't know the law.
Please.
Show me. I said, show me where you have the right to waive my right to final address. Show me. It's what the Constitution says. Show me. Show me. You cannot show me. You cannot show me. You cannot show me because you don't know the law. You can't show me. Wait, hold on.
The sentence of Kanu was not unexpected. He was behaving like a tout. I'm very sorry, in the courtroom. How can an accused person facing terrorism charge started his arrest? And the state wanted to give him a lawyer to assist. He said, no, I want to defend myself. You can only know what you are taught. He's not trained as a lawyer. And as a result, he was not in the position to defend himself against those serious allegations against him. There were appeal against that. He refused. He said he was to defend himself. At the end of the day, he could not do it. It means all what the prosecution presented against him, he admitted. So what do we expect a judge who try to bend forward, backward to accommodate him? And he refused. And he has to do his job. The judge has to do his job by delivering the judgment. So, and in law, when there is an allegation against you, that is just a prima facie evidence that you have committed an offense. It is your duty to rebut it by bringing your own witnesses that I did not do this. Whereas you now refuse to defend them, they are taking as established against you. And that is exactly what that judge did. It is left for the prerogative of the president. Because even where you appeal against it, an undefended prosecution proven against you by the state, what exactly are you going to do on appeal to invalidate that judgment? I believe the president should look into this matter, because he is a leader of a group of people, the whole Southeast, the Igbo nation, the Biafran agitator. I want to plead seriously to the Mr. President to look into the appeals of several people in respect of this gentleman and give him the prerogative of mercy. The president has said, I will not intervene until the court has taken a decision. The court has not taken a decision. The Constitution allows the president to give him prerogative of mercy. And I'm appealing for that.
I have a slightly different opinion on that, please. You see what Nnamdi Kanu has done to the unity of this nation, particularly Yoruba-Igbo relationship, is a damage that will take a long time to heal. A long time. And we have seen this played out before. After Nigeria won the Civil War, Ojukwu ran away. He was never charged for anything. He came back. He was accepted. He even contested to be a senator. And later he formed APGA and so on. He went to his grave without an apology, either to Nigeria or to the myriads of people that lost their lives on account of his adventure. We have another scenario today where Nnamdi Kanu statement, pronouncement have led to the death of thousands of people. There are people living in Nigeria today who are victims of Nnamdi Kanu's conduct. Even his assistant that did not do as much is serving 6 years jail term in Finland. And that one even tried to defend himself. So it is too early to even start talking about mercy for Kanu now. Let the victims of his activities first even enjoy the closure that this man orchestrated this evil against us in Igbo land, that at least is getting his due from Nigeria. That's one. The second thing is, I have a feeling by his conduct in the court that Nnamdi Kanu has some mental issues.
It appears so.
I think he has mental issues which the state ought to use this opportunity to help him address. And you can see that he did not show any remorse. He was shouting, and the allegations against him are so grave.
Yes.
Not only that, the prosecuting team was also so formidable. But this man will be shouting on his own legal team. He will be, he became omnipotent. There was nothing. He became omniscient. There's nothing he didn't know. You understand? His conduct is not such that we should encourage. So, I don't think we should be talking about mercy or anything for now. Let him settle. And unfortunately for him, like, I'm not a lawyer. He's the learned man. Like the learned man just said, he did not bring any defense. When he gets to appeal, he cannot begin to now start bringing evidence and so on. He cannot do it. So, right to the Supreme Court, the most he can get is for even the life sentence to be changed to death. Because death is, I understand that death is actually the original punishment in that law. But the judge at that level said, okay, let him go and spend time in jail. And then he gave another 25 years. You understand?
All to run concurrently.
All to run concurrently. He should spend some time. Maybe during the second tenure of the president, he could just make it, because of the pressure, the number of people that are agitating for him. Not because it's good. This man said he will go to Abuja and bring back the head of the president
At that time.
of Buhari. He said so. Nothing was unspeakable for him. So, we need to establish some rules of engagement in Nigeria. And I think if we should give this thing to simmer, and then we can go to the next stage.
Honorable Commissioner, you can't wave aside the settlement on this issue.
But you can't
This is it. Let me tell you the sentiment.
Whose people have been killed, those people who are eating.
Please let me
on video.
Let me come down.
Cook them and eat them.
Let me come down.
Okay.
Look at the spate of banditry, terrorism, all this and that in the north.
We will get
Have you ever seen any of these bandits, these terrorists, convicted?
Yes, one was
we are not justifying.
No, one
we are not justifying the commission of a crime against the other one.
One has just been sentenced
but that is the sentiment.
No,
that is the sentiment.
We don't follow their conviction. That is the thing. Even remember the people responsible for the killing of Funke Fashoranti, Baba Fashoranti.
Yes, in Akure.
They were caught. They were prosecuted. They were sentenced. And I think they have hanged them now. Do you understand? The reason we know is that Akeredolu did not cover it. He just made us understand everything that was going on. A lot is going on. You see, but and it is not all these things that will be brought to public knowledge.
To the surface.
To the surface, yes, sir. A lot is going on. And refusing to prosecute criminals is a bad thing.
Yes.
But a criminal cannot say, I'm not the only armed robber now. Maybe there are people who do armed robbery. Why is me alone that you are agreement? It is not a defense. If it is you we have caught, it is you we have found and we are prosecuting you. That is by all understanding.
You are not the only thief in the
That's not a defense.
I know I'm a thief.
I know
I'm an robber. But what about this and this?
No,
that is not the law. That is not the law.
Exactly.
It's not the sentimental.
Mr. Ajayi, after the judgment, that is, after he had been sentenced to life imprisonment, I understand that even the federal government protested that it was death sentence that should be the judgment. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear that. And the federal government, it will be too swift for the federal government to react like that.
Oh.
Maybe
Maybe
the prosecuting counsel.
Okay.
It could be
It wasn't the federal, it was the prosecuting counsel. Woman law.
Yeah, woman law.
Yes.
He could say that. He could say that look,
Yes.
this is not what we asked for.
Yes.
We asked
woman
for
law. It was a woman
So,
law.
That is still not a favorable judgment.
So what he can do is not to go back to his client, which is the Federal Ministry of Law, of Justice, and say, should we appeal for
Yes, against the judgment.
Yes, for
Against
death
the
penalty, or should we leave it like that? Will now be up to the Ministry or to the Attorney General to say, okay, let him.
But if Kanu now appeals, if Kanu now appeal against that judgment, then there could be a cross appeal
Yes.
by the federal government. That even this appeal, this sentence, we now cross appeal against it.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
And may I add this quickly? You see, the delay in settling Kanu's case was caused primarily by Kanu and his antics. I think Omotosho is the second judge that will handle that matter. His people kept adjourning, kept doing us sort of things to ensure that we did not come to where we came to last week. During this past week. They did everything to defy the judgment. But this Omotosho of a man was able to cut everything short. And you will notice that even on the day of judgment, Kanu was still trying to seek for extension. So people will think that federal government detained him and so on, but it was actually the one orchestrating the elongation of the process. And I'm glad that that stage of the process is ended now. A lot of people could not come out to talk in the East because of intimidation. The intimidation was such that even people whose people were killed ran away from their villages and they kept mute. We cannot, in all honesty, expect that a nation will continue to harbor tendencies like that. Now people are coming out, and if you read the social media, you'll be amazed at how many people had been suffering in silence. People who had built their lives in Abuja and then decided to relocate to their villages, and they saw what was going on and felt that this is not good. They will come back for them, kill them. They will come back, kidnap people, take ransom and still kill. Then they will kill some and then boil them in egusi soup. A lot of things was happening in that area that if you pamper the originator of that tendency, you are not helping the state. So that is why I'm of the opinion that the IPOB tendency, the unknown government thing and all these other should be stamped out permanently. some of them may be rehabilitated because by the time you want to count them, there may be more than 5,000 people. And we don't have the capacity to jail 5,000 people at a go. So you may rehabilitate some of them, but far more people should go to jail.
Are you saying Kanu's followers are cannibals?
Many of them.
And if they were cannibals, there is a tendency that their leader could also be so.
No, I don't think Kanu is one. The reason is that he was not living in the East. He was not living where they were killing the people and eating them. He was in the comfort of his house in the UK, and then he was lured to Kenya, and then he was abducted from Kenya and brought to Nigeria. So I don't think he has had any opportunity to eat human flesh. But many of his commanders and so on. In fact, imagine there was a particular man that died, and Kanu said they should look for 2,000 heads, that he should be buried with 2,000 heads. I think they confessed that eventually they buried him with 30 heads. Innocent people. These are the people that the likes of whoever will be coming out to say that persecuting Igbo and so on and so forth. The biggest victims of Kanu are Igbos.
You were asking for prerogative of mercy for Kanu. Do you think this will go well with the sentiment of those who have suffered in his hands, especially in the East?
My colleagues here has already said he doesn't think Kanu was involved in the cannibalism, even if that ever existed, because we don't have any evidence of that.
There are what sort of evidences? There are video evidences.
Cannibalism.
Yes.
I'm not aware of any.
Oh, there are video evidences.
And as a lawyer, I cannot speak on that.
Okay.
But what I feel is that Kanu is seen as an agitator for his people, for independence of his people. That is how people see him. And that was why all the governors in the East are advocating for his release. All the religious leaders, virtually all the religious leaders in the East are advocating for his release. And other stakeholders of Eastern extractions, they are agitating for his release. We can't ignore all these agitations, including those of the National Assembly members, Deputy Senate leader, Speaker, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, leading other groups, raising this issue at the floor of Parliament. We cannot ignore this because the government exists for the people. And the government is supposed to listen to agitation of the people because we are operating a democracy. So this agitation coming from all this segment of the Eastern extraction, and by extension, other people are interested. We cannot ignore all this.
Barrister, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer said, that's after the judgment, that Kanu had been convicted over his broadcast and that there was no evidence that he committed any crime. Do you believe this?
We all listed
words over which he has been convicted.
No. Don't let us get this wrong. We cannot substitute opinion of lawyers for the evidence.
The lawyer said there was no evidence.
No, you cannot say that. That is his opinion. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That is the
He was not even his lawyer.
Okay.
Because he sacked his lawyer.
That is the opinion of that lawyer, of that person who happens to be a lawyer. That is how I put it. That is his own opinion. But we all watch how the state presented the evidence against him.
Yes.
And Kanu did not allow his lawyer to report it.
So you believe he committed those offenses?
It's not a question of belief. Or I don't believe.
You are proved in court.
It's a question of what have been proved with evidence in court. And the court and the judge said, because these things were not disproved, there was no contra evidence against the prosecution's evidence, then he has no other choice than to believe them. So you cannot now come out as a lawyer and say that there is no evidence against him. When we had avalanche of evidence presented by the state, several of them, and it was not countered in any way. Kanu said he did not allow his lawyer to counter all those evidence. It would have been a different thing because he invited some people to come and be his witness. He subpoenaed them. So probably some of them would have come to say one thing or the other. He could have called some of his people to come and give evidence of his good character. He could call people from probably Kenya, probably UK, who could give evidence that as at the time this thing was happening, it was not even in the East. So he did not do all those things to report it. So that is the case, that is a bad case of Kanu in court.
But you still ask for prerogative of justice.
It is only left, the president has the constitutional power to forgive any convicted person.
But you do not think he deserves that?
That is not actually my point. I'm saying that it is too early in time, too early in the day to even be talking about mercy for him, because you need to also bring closure to the families that were hurt by his pronouncements and by his, how do I say, incitement and so on and so forth. In fact, the videos are all everywhere. The audio are all everywhere. Some of the things he said that eventually translated into the killings of policemen, soldiers. Some of them, we saw the videos, are all other atrocities. The idea is that, yes, and my brother here is a very good advocate, and you could see how he presented all the people that are saying, free him, free him, free him. Yeah. We've gone through this before. 2001, many of them came and asked for Kanu to be freed. And eventually a bail was arranged for him. And with conditions and terms. And as soon as he got out, he began to contravene all the conditions of the bail one by one. Not only did he do that, at the end of the day, when Operation Crocodile Smile was unleashed on the southeast, he ran away. A few people died. And I was surprised when Kanu would speak from London. He said they killed his dog, Jack. That was the only person he mentioned by name. All the human beings that were killed or that lost their lives in that engagement, they had no meaning to him. Kanu is the kind of person that will say, the people of Ebonyi, you are all stupid, you are foolish. I will deal with you. You people in Abia, you are strong-headed. I will say anyone that will come out on Monday among you. You worker people, you are noble people, you are useless. He will say that, and people will still hang around him. So you can know how low he has brought the self-esteem of many people in the Southeast. I had a video where he was talking about IPOB in Europe. I think those people wanted to have an audit of all the money they have collected and how the money was spent. He grew furious. He sacked the whole ESCO. He lambasted everybody, and that was it. He was a government unto himself, a god unto himself. Nobody could call him to, even Professor Wabueze, an acknowledged legal scholar and so on and so forth. He said, I'm the spokesman of Nnamdi Kanu. Can you see the level to which he suppressed everybody in that area? Professor Wabueze is one of the most celebrated law scholars in Nigeria. And the man in his 80s also was making himself a spokesman for Kanu. Can you imagine?
Now, the final.
So it should take some time before, let everybody learn some lessons, and then after some time, the idea of a prerogative of mercy can then, but it is too early in the day.
A final question on Nnamdi. Now that we are suspecting that there is a possibility of a mental situation with him, could it also be, can we say there is a possibility that his actions in the past, his utterances, and all the acts committed under his regime could have been fueled by mental disorder?
That situation was not presented in court. And even the Nigerian Medical Association was asked to examine his fitness to stand trial, and they said he's fit. So I think so. They said he's fit. So I don't think we can go back to
it.
That.
Was why the presenter is raising that issue is because of the attitude of Kanu in court.
Yes.
Can you imagine a respected senior president of Nigeria and the former Attorney General of the Federation, Kanu?
Yes.
Kanu insulted him in court. Agumolo, who is the chairman of Radio Operations, Kanu insulted everybody in court. He even wanted to slap one of his lawyers. So when you, to the extent that he says, I don't have confidence in any of my lawyers, please don't defend me again. You don't need a Socratic test to determine that this is unusual. This is not a characteristic of a same person. That is why my colleague is raising that issue. And I think I agree with him. Because all these issues is abracadabra in the courtroom, is utterances and lack of remorse for anything.
In the face of those grave accusations.
So it makes people to start thinking. To start thinking, is this normal? Is this a normal behavior of a normal person? That's why this issue of insanity is being raised.
Don't push me. I'm telling you, don't touch me. I'm warning you, don't touch me. I'm warning you, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I said, don't touch me. Don't. Smart people. You don't know law. Show me where it says you can wear my right final address. Show me the law. Show me the law. I want to show me the law. You don't know law. They are remoting you. You're writing rubbish. Show me the law. Unaddressed affidavit. You say you put it. Are you doing their job for them? God will punish you now and forever. Any judgment, let it be on record. Any judgment in this court is rubbish.
It may not actually be seen medically, but his attitude in court and outside the court suggests that something is wrong with him.
People of the Fountain.